Hello everyone and welcome back. My name's dustinkreis and today we are going to do the QA. And I'm recording this on my iPad. I got my iPhone to read the questions. We're just integrating technology into this video. Now, this Q&A thing, I just let the video go. I haven't really looked at any of the questions. So this is going to be kind of interesting because I've kind of just breezed through them a little bit. But I haven't really given it much thought, so it might be a lot of me sitting here going, really thinking about these questions. But before we get into that, I want to give you guys all a big thank you. The support this channel has got over the last 2 years. We are rapidly coming up on the 2-year anniversary because I started in September of 2011, and it's just been a great ride. I really, the friendships that I've forged, especially with Steven and Chance and Paige and everybody that does the podcast, it's just been a really fantastic time. I've gotten to meet a couple people in person. I got to meet Rusty, Ari Lewis in person. Really cool cat, really awesome videos. I'm even talking to people across the globe. I talked to Aerodynamish a lot. I talked to Greg, RPG Swagman, a lot. And it's crazy to think that, I can sit here and talk about a friend that I have in the Netherlands. And it's really a really cool experience. So if you're one of those viewers out there that hasn't started making videos yet, I know that the YouTube gaming community is it's almost oversaturated, but you do find your small viewership, and then out of that small viewership, friendships forge, and then things just kind of expand. I remember back in the day when this guy called the Laggy Gamer just emailed me and said it'd be really cool if you and Ball and Nick ever did a podcast, and that has, the wheels turned on that, and it kind of turned into Steven and I and Chance doing another gaming podcast. So it can happen to you. So definitely, if you are thinking about starting to do videos, definitely do it, because it is probably one of the most worthwhile things, not just from a collecting standpoint, but just forging friendships and meeting new people. It's really quite awesome. And yeah, but yeah, the support and just the overwhelmingly nice comments that you guys get. I don't understand why anyone would sit here and listen to me ramble on for 15-20 minutes at a pop, but the mere fact that you guys can get through my bullshit and actually enjoy it is a pretty awesome feeling. And I don't know quite how to put it into words, how that makes somebody feel. But yeah, 1,000 subscribers. I could say that I was, that I knew I was going to get here one day. But when you first start out, I'm just bringing up the questions now if you're wondering, what I'm doing. When I was first starting out, I didn't think that it would, either ever get there, or it would come this fast. And some people are like, well, 2 years is kind of a long time. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like 2 years, to be honest with you. It feels like I just started not too long ago. So that's kind of good that it still feels fresh. But, yeah. Alright, I got the question as well. Actually, I gotta scroll down a bit more. Is that the end? Yeah. Okay. So, we're going to get into these questions. Once again, I said I just kind of lightly breezed over them, and let me make sure that, yeah, okay. And hopefully I can give you guys some good answers and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of it. I'm assuming it's probably what's your favorite game of all time? What's your favorite system? And I've kind of already answered those ones, so I might not spend... I'll probably answer the first one that comes across like that pretty well, and then if it comes across again, I'd be like, I already answered that question. So, anyway, we're going to start off at the beginning with the first comment on the video, and that is with, and I'm going to mispronounce this because sometimes you guys put crazy, crazy names as your handles on there, but it's Take, Taeekk, okay? And he asks, do you prefer Japanese or English dubs? Have you ever thought about learning Japanese to experience RPGs in their original language? And the answer to that question is, I will always usually play a game with the English dub because, especially when it has, really good voice acting, then I'm just like, screw it, I'll go with this. But this kind of goes into a question that I'll probably be answering later on, which is how do I, time-wise, how do I manage all this stuff? When I'm playing a game, I usually have YouTube videos going at the same time. And then whenever a cutscene hits or something like that, I'll just hit pause on the YouTube video and watch the cutscene. But, yeah, it's something, I can suffer a bad voice acting game because Arc Rise Fantasia it's pretty rough sometimes, and I still was able to enjoy that game. However, I will say that I love having the option of having the original Japanese audio because it, to me, like when I watched anime, I watched a lot of fan subs instead of watching like the actual stuff on TV, especially with like Bleach. And then when Bleach finally came out here in the States, I wasn't too impressed with the voice acting. And because I was so used to hearing like Byakuya talk the way he does, and Ichigo talking the way he does in the Japanese anime. And then when these English voices came out, it just seemed all wrong to me. So I guess it really kind of stems down to if you heard the Japanese first, it's oftentimes hard to get into an English dub, and sort of vice versa. Like, I can't watch Dragon Ball in the original Japanese because when like Gohan, when he's a little kid, his voice, because it's a woman with a high-pitched voice, and it just nails on a chalkboard. And Goku has a very feminine voice for some reason. And it just does not fit. Like, I'm used to the English translation Goku. And then learning Japanese, I actually... I didn't want to learn to speak it, I just wanted to learn to read it, which is a lot harder, I guess. And I have some stuff, like some books, and I have a computer program that's supposed to help me do it, but I just never got around to it because I just get busy, and then when I get home, it's like I don't want to sit down and do schoolwork unless I have to for school. So I usually veg out to a TV show or a video game. So I kind of want to, because I have a lot of Japanese games that it would make it a lot easier if I had like just a fundamental basic knowledge of, Japanese. Because I think most of the games are written at a very young reading level, because mostly it's kids playing these games. So I think I could get somewhere, well, hi bud, I think I can get somewhere where I could probably do that if I were to put the time in, but right now I'm just too busy to do all that. Chef Solid, who I haven't heard from in a while, it seems. Maybe I just have not noticed, like, because I read the comments and not all the time the names, unless I have a face to go along with it, they don't always click over. But he used to be a guy that, we kind of talk back and forth regularly. He asked my favorite game and my favorite system of all time. And my favorite game is, and probably will always be, Final Fantasy VI. It was just such a momentous game back in the day. A lot of people think of Final Fantasy VII as that big, momentous, game-changing thing. But everything that Final Fantasy VII did, they tried to do on the Super Nintendo. It being a very cinematic RPG, especially with that opening with the Magitech armor going across the snowfield with that beautiful Uematsu music, and then of course the opera scene. Just very, very cinematic before it was really able to be cinematic. And I locked into the characters so much that when like the demo footage for Final Fantasy VII on the N64 came out, and I saw that they were using Final Fantasy VI characters, I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be a direct sequel. That'd be awesome. And of course, it then jumped ship to the PlayStation and completely changed what they were going to do with it. But it will always be the Final Fantasy VI. As far as favorite system goes, for nostalgia's sake, it's going to be... Oh, my God, buddy. Every time I try to shoot a video. It's always going to be the Super Nintendo. For nostalgia's sake, because that is just, to me, like, that was Nintendo at its zenith. You know, the NES might have been more successful, but the Super Nintendo took everything that the NES was and did it better. And you can't really say that about the N64 from the Super Nintendo. You know, N64 in a lot of ways was kind of a step backwards, even though it was more powerful and blah 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 blah. It didn't capture the magic that the Super Nintendo had. But if I was, you know, kind of thinking about it, my favorite system to collect for right now is probably the Sega Saturn, just because I like how easy it is to play Saturn imports, and that system was completely different over in Japan than it was here in the States, and that's mostly due to Sega of America just completely botching everything that was, you know, Sega Saturn. But the PS2 is also one that I really kind of hold near and dear to my heart, because I mean, there's just so many games for it. That's whenever a person's like, I'm getting into collecting, what's a system to buy? That's the first system I say is PS2, because that and the DS, you'll build like just a beautiful collection really fast, because there's just so many games for it. And okay, Undead Space Monkey, which he asked a couple questions, and we'll try to get to him here. One is, why was there no Zelda for your top 10 games? I did in the podcast, we talked about our top 10 games of all time. And I kind of explained it in the podcast, where I said, what did I say? Shit, I lost it. I said that this is kind of like my desert island games. Like if I, you know, was stuck on a desert island and able to play games, these are the games I would want with me. And the reason why I didn't pick Zelda is because I put Ys on there. And, you know, I was trying to make a very varied list of games to put on there. And since I already had an action RPG on there with Ys, I just felt I didn't need to put Zelda on there. And I'm sure like a bunch of Zelda fans, their buttholes are like just clenching up right now. But I like Zelda, I really do. But at the same time, the series can get a little frustrating for me, just because it seems like there's a lot of backtracking in it. And I don't know, like sometimes like with Link to the Past, I have a great time with it. And then when it gets into like the more modern day ones, I'm just kind of like, you know, I'll play for like a few hours and I just want to set it down and do something else. And I don't get that way with like the old Zeldas. And I don't know if that's just because, I don't know why that is, but I still love the Zelda series, and I'm really looking forward to, not shit, I lost my place now. Really looking forward to Wii U Zelda whenever they get around to that. Fill in the blank, you are a closet fan. Closet blank fan. So he wants to know something that I'm a fan of that I guess would be kind of embarrassing. And we talked about this before on one of the podcasts, and I'm trying to think. I mean, there's things I've been fans of in the past that people are kind of like, oh, really? When she first came out, I kind of had a crush on Avril Lavigne. And all my friends were like, well, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, she's cute. She's cute and she sings. That's good enough for me. But I do really like the Powerpuff Girls. But I think that's, you know, for me being a kid at that time, and even then, like, there were other kids that kind of liked the Powerpuff Girls as well. But I don't know what it is about that show, but it is kind of subversive in a way that I like. And whenever Mojo Jojo's on there, it's always, you know, really fun, because I like how he phrases his conversations with the girls. So we'll go with those two answers, because one is actually kind of embarrassing, and the other one is just kind of, you know, it's a nice nostalgia thing.